What's up, guys? A lot of you guys have been asking me to do an overview over my track Haven featuring Dianna. Before we get into this, I actually do have a single coming out in the next few days that's kind of in the style of Haven, if you've heard of it. Yeah, it's called Lost Machinery. Be on the lookout for that. But let's just jump straight into it. We'll go with the vocals first because that's like the main thing you actually hear in the track. Let's see. So I have this reverse vocal sweep.
Another day I'm breathing, living life that isn't so mine.
I don't think I have anything on the reverse vocal sweep at all. Yeah, literally like no EQ or reverb. But on the main vocals I have
Another day I'm breathing, living life that isn't so mine.
I have a Maximus being used as a de-esser, which actually should have used an actual de-esser because it's not doing a really good job. It's doing a decent job. Fruity compressor to make sure all of her vocals are at the same level of volume, and to make everything tight and sound really nice and clean. A little bit OTT, about 31%. I brought the high band up a little bit and the low band all the way down. Some reverb, a little bit of delay, and some more reverb for later in the drop, which I'll go over in a second. Some EQ, I used Pro Q2. Took some of the lows out, kept the mids, and then took some of the high frequencies out. Her vocals were pretty, had some pretty high, like a lot of high end without any of the EQ, so I just decided to take a lot of the high end out. Let's see, let's go to these little ad libs here. It's basically the same patch, like I saved it and then just added another one right here, but I activated the really big reverb. Just took the dry down and just put the wet a little bit up, and yeah. Yeah, that's much it for the vocals. This track isn't really very complex. It's pretty simple in my opinion. I guess we'll do the beginning, so we'll do the piano. I have a reverse piano which changes the octaves. Well, I guess they don't really change octaves. Well, over here they actually do. Well, no, they actually don't. Actually, never mind. That's usually something I usually do. I change the octaves to make like a kind of special type of piano thing, I guess. I'm not really sure how to explain it, but we have this piano. And we have these reverse pianos. For the piano, I put a Pro Q on there. Took a little bit of the lows out, but I kept a lot of them in. Boost up the mids and boost up the highs a lot to get that really, I guess, soft type style to the piano and very crisp. Compressor with Fruity Limiter. I think it just brought up the volume a little bit more. Some Valhalla room for some reverb and some OTT. And I didn't really do anything with the bands, but yeah, not a lot of stuff. For the piano itself, I used Native Instruments, the Gentleman. It's a really nice piano. You guys should buy it. It's really, really nice. I'll do the drop piano too. This part. For this, I use a fruity parametric EQ2. Took the lows out, kept some of the mids in, but took some of the mids out. There's some annoying frequencies in the mids and in the highs, so I kind of removed those. Took the highs out because the piano, which I used Native Instruments the Giant, it has a lot of high end, so I just did the same thing, just took some of those highs out. Another compressor with fruity limiter, I just boosted up the gain. Some reverb, OTT with 46%, and some delay. The OTT is actually doing a lot for the sound. Without it, just sounds like this. Makes it a lot louder and makes it a lot more, I guess, I'm not really sure how to explain that either. Like that kind of crisp sound to the piano, I guess. What else? This pad I use a lot in a lot of my songs now. It's from the Splice Photos. It's in the pad. So like that. I just down pitched it. I think 3, and just stretched it out a little bit. Sounds like this. For EQing, I have a parametric EQ2. Took the mids out, took some lows out. There's a annoying frequency in the mids, so I kind of took that out. Removed some of the highs, but not too much. Some OTT, about 31%. I like to do this effect with a parametric EQ2 or any equalizer. As you take the low end and the high end, and you kind of close them together just a little bit to get this kind of radio effect. And some reverb, nothing too crazy. And it sounds like there's, I don't know. Oh yeah, and I sent it to a bus, which is just being sidechained. Other than that, there's really nothing to that. Some like background ambience, an airport sound. Send it to the same bus, same thing. Oh no, actually, I don't think it is. Actually, is it? No, it's not. Okay, it is different. All right, so took the lows out and a little bit of the mids. There's a really annoying frequency in the high, so I took that out, or I guess it's the mids, and then just brought up the highs. Added OTT, 27%. The old telephone effect I was talking about, that radio effect or telephone effect, where you take the the high cut and low cut, and just kind of put them close together. Some reverb, and that's pretty much it. Had another one in the background, which is in the Virtual Atmosphere pack. Yeah, I sent it the same thing as the airport sound, the same stuff. This really cool intro kind of lead patch sounds like this. It's in the Photos pack again. I think it's the guitars, and I think it's it's just that one. That's actually pretty loud, but pitch down. I think, yeah, just 100 cents. Stretch it out a little bit. Mess with the pitch. Some volume automation for mixing. Let's see. Some EQing. Remove the lows. There's a lot of annoying frequencies in the mid area, so I'm gonna just remove some of those, and then just brought up the highs a little bit. Add some OTT. Didn't really do anything with the bands, just added 26% to the depth. Added some reverb, a lot of it. Stereo enhancer, just to make sure everything is stereo instead of mono. This is being used as a filter to filter everything. And then just a compressor and then just bringing the gain down a little bit. That's pretty much it. Just a normal reverse sweep crash thing with some, yeah, just EQing, taking the lows out, taking some of the mids out, and just boosting up the highs. Add some OTT and some reverb. And that's pretty much it for that. Let's see. Do these right here. These little orchestra samples that sound like this. I found it in a FLP pack a while ago, so I thought it sounded pretty cool. Really nothing too much in here. Just took some of the lows out, added some OTT, and that's pretty much really it. Some sub bass, which is in Harmor. Add EQ. I just removed some of the lows, but not way too much, where there's not enough, where there's like no sub, but just enough for the intro. Took out the high end to get rid of those kind of frequencies, and then put a compressor on there and turn the gain up just a little bit. And I think yeah, this little respace here sounds like this. Which is actually it's limiting a lot. It's in Harmor. Added 9 voices, turned the pan 100%, the phase 100%, and the pitch to about looks like 98%. Turned on legato mode so the notes can slide against each other. Went to effects mode, turned on distortion, put on log, turned the amount just a little bit, and then filter all the way up, and took this low pass and just turned it just enough so that way it's not being open or nothing. So yeah, for the EQing, I just took the lows out and some compression with Fruity Limiter. And I guess for the drop, these little drums here, which sound like this. There's actually, yeah, this thing. Drums sound like this. Just have a kick. Added a limiter to it. Just did some compression, some really bad compression actually. A reverse little snare, which is in Cashmere's pack. For the snare, I just added some reverb. I didn't really EQ it. I was pretty lazy making this track. Another little rim shot. Nothing on it, just pretty dry. Another one with, I don't think there's really anything on there. Yeah, nothing. The hi-hats are actually being panned right here. I thought it sounded cool at the time. For the EQing of the hi-hats, use a Pro Q2, took the lows out, and didn't really do much with the EQing. Added the OTT, which was pretty much unnecessary, and then some compression. Turned it down the gain a little bit. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, there's really not like a lot about this track. It's pretty simple track. But yeah, leave in the comments if you want to see a tutorial or another behind a track overview or anything like that. And yeah, see you guys next time.